How you doing, YouTube? Matt Massa Beer Reviews back with a little bit of Baltic Porter up in this piece in the form of Interboro Spirits and Ales. It is their 10.3% Baltic Porter. This is brewed with cardamom and coffee, so that could be a nice little kind of mixture there. This comes courtesy of my boy Kyle. Let's crack into this sucker. See what's what. 10.3%, so you're talking about a hefty size for a Baltic Porter. Baltic Porter is one of my favorite styles in general. Not a lot of people do big ones. A couple people do ones that don't, and they don't actually lager them. I assume this is a lagered beer. Brewed in collaboration with the friends from Duge Brewery. And Duge is from somewhere in Europe. I believe they might be like, I don't know, Netherlands, somewhere around there. And Devo Division? I don't know. Some coffee company. That'd be that. Yeah. Devoction? Devoction? Is that how you pronounce that sucker? Anyway, label-wise, it's a bunch of shapes and pluses and stuff. What do you want? Beer-wise, yeah, looks all the part of a big, burly kind of Baltic Porter, stout. Even kind of has barley wine vibes, the way it kind of rings a little bit, kind of mahogany on the edges. But it looks like a nice big old bomber of a beer. Let's get a nose. That cardamom actually comes through huge, but not overpowering, and I can't express how much I enjoy that, at least on a nose, because it can be a pretty heavy, not heavy, it's a pungent spice for me. It's almost like a lot of people, what's that one thing that people hate? Cilantro. Because some people like it, some people don't like it, but you know, it's so easy to get a little too heavy-handed on cilantro. That's kind of how cardamom is for me. And while I'm getting it here, it's not like crushing everything else. You get a soft little kind of malt base to it. Not a bunch of coffee, to be perfectly honest with you. But it smells like a nice, rich, robust, almost like brown ale, imperial brown ale, with just that soft little powdery kind of cardamom kind of floating over the top of it. It smells pretty good. Let's dive in. Cheers. That's nice. I mean, the cardamom definitely leads the way. Still in the taste. I'm still kind of looking for that coffee component, just not really getting it here. I'm not going to sit here and say I don't get coffee vibes, but I'm getting very similar kind of coffee vibes that I would get off of a non-coffee based beer. Some of those ones that lean heavily into coffee. It's nice. It's well done. It comes off as definitely like a Baltic Porter, like on a nose. Like I said, it was almost like an imperial brown ale. It definitely has this kind of soft, not soft, but this lager vibe to this big burly kind of malted beer, but it doesn't get roasty and toasty or too big and hefty like a stout would. Like I said, coffee is almost non-existent for me. It's almost just that wisp of coffee you would get from a big roasted malt beer to begin with. And then the cardamom. It is probably the biggest note in the whole beer, but again, it doesn't get heavy-handed. It's nice. It has this almost minty component to it, and kind of just floats around it and adds this kind of lightness and heft to a double-digit Baltic Porter, which is pretty fun, to be perfectly honest with you. I like it. Tasty, drinkable. The only qualms I have with it, I've had this beer, not this beer. You know, how many times do you see just a Baltic Porter with cardamom in it? But I've had these beers like this at 5, 6, 7. Again, me and my soapbox of high ABV. Just not quite sure why it's 10 and change. Doesn't drink like it's 10 and change. It might not be 10 and change, but it's probably a bigger beer because I get a little bit of warmth kind of going on. That's probably my biggest knock on it, outside of the coffee just not being there. You're going to not just put coffee into a beer, but actually go out of your way to kind of name the brewery or name the coffee roaster on there. I expect the coffee to be forward. And it just doesn't really show up for me. And I love coffee beers, so I was kind of looking forward to that. So let's talk about it. It's one of the better Baltic Porters I've had as of late. It's worthy of being in a conversation. It's not going to get towards the top, especially when you add that combination of the coffee just not really being there for me, and the ABV level just being a little bit bigger than what it should. Value availability, no idea. My boy Kyle, let me know what's what when it comes to this beer and leave you with if you like what we like this beer. If you like cardamom, if you like darker beers, richer beers, and you're a big fan of cardamom, because honestly, it is showcasing that to a T in a very pleasant way without getting heavy-handed. So if you like the big roasty, burly stuff, not all that roasty, but big, darker, malty stuff, and you're a fan of cardamom, you'll like this. So there you go. Another review in the books. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Down there if you want to talk about it. Massive Beers. If you want to check me out doing the social media stuff, Beer Massive. If you want to check me out doing the whole podcasting thing, hopefully you guys enjoyed the review. Hopefully enjoying a little bit of Interboro and douche right now. Hopefully see you next time. Cheers.